What's up YouTube? It's Coach Cory, and today I want to give you guys my balance change wish list. You want to know why? Because an update is incoming, hopefully. You know how I know that though? Okay, first of all, Lex and Kairos, if you didn't realize, they are in Finland right now. How do I know that? Well, they posted it, on their YouTube that they're in Finland right now. Now, they said that they're in Finland to film the community roundtable. But I mean, like, all right, let's be real. They're not in Finland just to film the community roundtable. Do you really think they would fly them out to Finland just to do a video on their own channel? Yeah, I don't think so. So, I don't know what it is they're up to, but there must be an update soon. So my guess, usually whenever they film something over in Finland, it takes them a couple weeks to edit it and get it out. So whenever it is, my guess is it's coming within a few weeks. So hopefully that means we got an update in a few weeks. Now, unfortunately, that's all the info I have for you guys. Let me know below what you hope is in the update. But before whatever that update happens, I want to go over what balance changes I really want to see, because it's been a really long time since we have had any sort of balance change. I think it's been over 2 months. And the meta's gotten a little bit stale. So let's talk about what we want to see happen. Now, first off, there's some obvious nerfs that I think need to happen. And I'm going to go over those just really quickly, because I want to talk about the buffs, because those are going to be way more fun. Alright, look, Poco nerf, obviously, I don't want to go over that. Poco's just way too strong. Needs a little bit less damage. I'd give her or him a reload nerf. Spike, a little bit too strong. I'd give Spike like a 5% damage nerf. He'll still be a top 10 brawler, probably, but not like top 5 in multiple different game modes really easily. I would give Nita a really small health nerf. I think that was appropriate. Maybe Tara, I'd give a nerf on the range of Tara's super, so it's still really, really strong, but not quite as OP as it is now. It can somehow be crazy. The range of it can be crazy stupid sometimes. But those are going to be my main nerfs. Those are going to be my nerfs. Okay, but let's go over the buffs, because those are much more fun to talk about. And let's talk about someone who has been one of the worst brawlers in the game for a long time, and he just, God, I just wish he was kind of good, okay? Hopefully I don't regret this. Hopefully I don't regret him getting a buff. But El Primo, okay, El Primo is one of the worst brawlers in the game for such a long time. He's the highest health tank, tied with Frank. He also has the shortest range, but his damage is so low. He does, if all of his shots hit, he does a little bit over 2,000 damage. I mean, look, I know he has a fast reload speed, but, he doesn't hit all his shots, and if he has the shortest range in the game, I feel like he should have at least have close to the highest damage, and he doesn't. I would really think El Primo, he needs a big damage buff. I'm giving El Primo, in my opinion, I'm giving him a 10% damage buff, at least. I'm giving him that. I'm maybe giving him a little bit more. Maybe giving him like 12, 13%, something like that. I really want El Primo to come into the meta. And here's what. I'm going to give some more tank buffs. I think Daryl, I think Bull, I think they also deserve a buff. Tanks right now, ever since we've gone to, I guess, Landscape. I feel like ever since we've gone to Landscape, tanks have just been not very good. Ever since, the meta has sort of become known, it's become a thing where all the balance changes, all the size of projectiles got fixed and everything. Tanks have not been very good. So I really think we need to see a little bit more of a tank meta coming in, maybe. I think Daryl, El Primo, I'd give them a small buff. I'm not going to give them a huge one. I think some of these nerfs that might happen might give them an indirect buff as well. But I would give these guys maybe like a 5 to 3% health buff. I don't want to give them too much health. But I think they had some health nerfs in their. You look back at their balance changes, they had some health nerfs, if I can speak. I think they deserve some of that health back. Give them 5% health back. Maybe give them a little bit more reload speed too. I don't think they need any more damage. I think their damage is good. I think their range is good. I might give them a small reload speed increase. It's not going to increase their damage output that much. Maybe a small health increase as well. Now, to go with that, what about one of our, he's not really a tank, but he's a short-range brawler, Mortis. I really think Mortis deserves a buff as well. Now, honestly, if I'm being honest with you guys, his stats are actually pretty good. His stats are pretty good. But despite that, he's not that strong of a brawler, right? I mean, he's a top 10 brawler in Brawl Ball. If you're, OP with Mortis, if you're really good with Mortis, he's arguable top 5 in Brawl Ball. He's decent in a few other things, but that's at best. Mortis, he really deserves a buff as well. I'm giving Mortis, in my opinion, either a health buff or a reload speed buff. I'm giving him maybe like 5% more health, or maybe like 5% more reload speed. I don't think he needs a big buff. I actually think his stats are pretty dang good. I do think he suffers from lag for sure. If you're lagging with Mortis, it's really hard to play him because shot delay on like a Colt, it might not be the biggest deal in the world because you're far enough away that as long as you're aiming true, you're gonna hit some of your shots. Maybe you won't hit as many as you would have before, you'd still hit some. But with Mortis, if you have that delay, it's a really big deal because you go from completely dodging a shot to getting hit by half of it. And for Mortis, that's a really big deal because he needs every single health to even make an impact at all. Because with Mortis, if you do take that damage, now instead of being able to attack, you have to now, okay, I gotta go back and heal. Because I only have so many attacks, and if I don't kill them fast enough, you're dead. I mean, that's just how Mortis is. So one thing, obviously, if that delay gets fixed, improved, Mortis will also improve in that regard as well. So maybe some small buffs for Mortis, along with fixing some of that lag, which, I mean, we all want that anyways. That would really improve Mortis. Okay, what about a brawler that I really think needs a rework? Also sort of a new brawler, Penny. Penny, to me, has never felt that satisfying to play. I like the idea of Penny. She's a fun-ish brawler, but she's really not balanced. To me, her cannon is actually really good. It's honestly a little bit too good. There's some situations where if you're using a brawler who has a normal move speed, the slowest in the game, like Pam, for instance, and you're running in a straight line, you can actually still be hit by her cannon. Like before, if you ran in a straight line, you would always dodge it no matter what. Like you would have to be going like backwards and forwards, and then you would get hit. Normally with other brawlers, if you go in a straight line, just like running away as fast as you can, you don't get hit. But with like normal speed brawlers, you do, which to me is a little bit too strong. So when I think her cannon needs a small nerf, and this is why I say a rework. I think her cannon needs a small nerf, and Penny needs a big buff, in my opinion, or maybe just a rework, I guess. I really think her attack projectile, it really needs to be bigger because it's just so annoying to aim. I mean, to me, I'm pretty sure it's the smallest projectile in the game. And the way the game is now, it's honestly kind of hard to aim in general, like accurately every single time. You can aim pretty decently, but as far as precision, Brawl Stars isn't a great precision aiming game. That's why they have auto aim, because it's honestly kind of hard to consistently aim precision long distance. You can easily do that maybe short distance, but long distance, it's pretty hard to consistently aim precisely in the blink of an eye, quick reaction stuff. That's pretty hard to do in Brawl Stars. That's why Penny is a really hard brawler to aim. I really think she needs increase her projectile size, nerf her cannon, sort of like a rework for Penny. I really think that's needed. Another brawler I really think needs a buff is Pam. Pam has been bad as well for a really long time. Pam, I mean, I guess there was maybe a small instance where Pam was like really strong, and then they like reworked her pretty quickly. But Pam, to me, has been pretty bad for a long time. She's always been that gem grab hero, where she was the best gem carrier in gem grab for a long time. And then, of course, Poco came along, and Poco's been the best one for a long time, and since there's been no balance changes. But I think Pam deserves a buff because she's always just been that gem grab hero. I want to see Pam be viable in other different game modes. Make Pam good enough so she's usable in other different game modes. And to me, one of the ways or reasons I think this is really well deserved for Pam is I feel like Pam is kind of easy to counter. I feel like Pam is very counterable. If you have a Jessie on the team, you're going to get easy shots on that Pam turret. If you have a Barley or a Dynamite, you can kind of easily kill that Pam turret behind walls, depending on the map. But on some maps, definitely pretty counterable. But I just think Pam, you know, she technically has the ability to do a lot of damage at close range, but if you're playing Pam, a lot of times you want to be at long range anyways. So it's an interesting brawler. I think she's sort of counterable, so I really think she deserves a buff. And I would give her a big damage buff. I'm giving her like a 5 to 8% damage buff, and that's pretty much the main direction I'm going. You could give her a reload buff, but I really don't think that's the right way to go, because if you are in those close range situations, she'll be like impossible to kill, basically. So I would just give her a damage buff, not the reload. I don't know, maybe that's not that different, I guess. But that's the way I would go with it. Moving on, what about my man Bo? Alright, I don't know why I say my man, because I actually really don't like Bo. But that's part of the reason I think he deserves a buff. Bo, I feel like he's a bit of an enigma, right? I mean, he's one of those brawlers that has a star power that on specific, really specific maps, it's insanely strong. But it's not that useful otherwise. So it makes him really hard to balance. Because if you do buff Bo a lot on those maps where his star power is super strong, he becomes, I mean, he becomes OP. That's what happens. So do you give Bo that buff and make him OP on those maps? In my opinion, I think it's time. I think it's time to make that happen. Because even on those maps where star power is insanely strong, he's not OP. So fine, just go with it. Let's see how it goes. I think Bo deserves some buffs. Because he's pretty bad, honestly. Also, if you don't have a star power for a free-to-play player, like, come on, you're just kind of screwed, man. Like, what are you going to do with Bo? You got to struggle through with him. And I also don't like playing with Bo because his attack is so inconsistent. Now, I've said this multiple times before, but look, his attack's so inconsistent, and this is why I think he deserves a damaged buff. I really think he does. He has that health. I don't really think that's the right way to go with him. You could go reload speed, but it's pretty good. He's a good reload speed. You could buff his mines to 4, but honestly, 4 mines was one of the most annoying things in Brawl Stars. I don't want to go that route. His mines can still be kind of annoying, but they're not overpowered. I'd give him a damage buff, 5 to 8%, to see what it does to him. I think it wouldn't make him too strong. I do think he would be countering those long-range brawlers a lot more easily, but I kind of want them to be out of the meta anyways, so let's just go with it and let's see how it goes. Now, what are some brawlers that I haven't really talked about that are really strong as well, like Dynamite, Brock, and Shelly? All those brawlers have gotten, well, not gotten buffs, but they're all pretty strong right now, and actually, Brawl Stars did say they were nerfing Dynamite, but I didn't really list him in my nerfs. I don't really think he needs it. I could really see a nerf to his super, but what about Brock? Brock is also really, really strong. His projectile is really easy to hit with, and it does good damage every single time. He could deserve a buff, a nerf as well. I could see a Shelly nerf, but I'm okay with it, especially since I want a tank meta to come. I think I would keep Shelly as is, as that counter. I think that'd be great. But alright, those are going to be the brawlers I wanted to go over. Let me know what nerfs and buffs you would like to see. Also, when you think the update is going to happen. Alright guys, that's going to be it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you later.